Ready on left? Feel right? Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District being held on Monday, June 23rd, 2025, at the District Administration Building. Previously, we had the Goshen Intermediate School Boomwipers Club here performing at about 6:20 with Nina Morrison. Good job to all the kids. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and directly after the pledge, I'd like to just ask for a brief moment of silence to remember the passing of Ellen Dolan Wessler, Ashton Salty's mother.
Flag of the United States to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, everyone. All right, getting started tonight, we have a few word recognitions and presentations. Turn it over to Dr. Coates.
Thank you so much, Mr. Loftus. So we're so proud to have two of our Odyssey of the Mind teams with us tonight. There's much to be said about a legacy of excellence, and when we were able to invite teams year after year that have reached such high levels of competition, we're able to look at our students and our families and our coaches that support such an excellent program with such enormous pride. It's not by accident that this happens. There's such deep dedication on behalf of the staff and the coaches that help support you with preparing for these contests. It is your dedication, our students, who help us to rise to such levels of excellence, and we're proud to be able to present you with certificates of recognition. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Carter, and we will start with Team Seligman. We'll present individual certificates for your accomplishment. Dr. Carter, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Coates. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to bring to the front of the room here our team. We will begin with Team Seligman. And so if I could have Mr. and Mrs. Seligman, our head coaches.
Can I
Please,
just?
yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a little slideshow.
Got it.
Slideshow.
Use the podium. Use
Imaginary. I created a little slideshow.
right in the front. There we go.
It's not exciting to have to use podium with a mic. And I was tucked away back there, but I'm the coordinator of Goshen Odyssey of the Mind.
Slides.
Yep, and I'm here tonight to tell you all about the 2024-2025 season. We had John. Did I do that?
Yeah, just use it as a mouse, not a clicker.
Okay. All right, we had 9. John, can you just click it?
Sure. There's a lag, so that's okay.
I took his Google Classroom course and everything, but it's never too late, John. I'm here for another week. All right, so there are 9 teams competing at this spontaneous night. 5 of these teams went to states, and 2 of those teams earned the distinct honor to go to World Finals in Michigan. First, we're going to recognize the Schmidt team. It was their first time. Okay, there's World Finals and Schmidt. There they are, and it was their first time at Worlds, and they finished in 4th place. Absolutely amazing accomplishment by this young team, and we look forward to great things from them in the future. Here they are in costume. Sorry, girls. So we're thrilled to recognize them tonight. Mr. Carter, has the certificates for that. So,
So Steve Schmidt, may I please have Mr. Schmidt join us up front? Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you.
Recognize you for how well done.
Thank you
for
so
everything
much.
you've done.
All right, Brooke Florio. Peter Marco. Yes. And Leah and Marissa Montiero. Yeah.
this team defeated 58 other teams from all across the world, the United States and several countries. It's truly an amazing accomplishment for a young team like this to go to Worlds the first time and finish in fourth place. So congratulations, Team Schmidt. Wouldn't we all like to be in the snow right now? There's Team Seligman from Goshen High School. They defeated 47 teams to be. John, this is a big moment. We're wearing costume. So I'm very honored to call this team up front with Mr. Carter. We'll give you your certificates.
Team Seligman.
Seligman, if I could have coaches, Mr. and Mrs. Seligman join me in front.
I'm the only coach.
Oh, Glorio. Oh. Hey, Hunter. Rosie. Harley. Aiden.
All right, congratulations, everyone.
I have a bit more to say about the Seligman team. I would like Coach Heidi Seligman and Sion Silkovic, who cannot be with us tonight, Ray Hunter, and Carly Seligman, and Nathan Hulse, come forward, please.
Right there.
The 4 team members that I just mentioned, and 3 of them are here with us right now, have been here before, and so has their coach Heidi Seligman. They've actually been here 4 times. It is a truly remarkable accomplishment. No one can believe winning Worlds 4 times. So, and I just would like to recognize each of these individuals. Simon Silkovic was not here, lent his musical talents to performances. Gray Hunter, an outstanding artist, an outstanding artist, created beautiful sets and props. Carly Seligman, The hardest working owner spent countless hours creating marvelous pieces and polishing each performance to perfection. And for all of her efforts, she earned an Omer Award at both the state finals and world finals. Nathan Hulse was a true leader of the team. He wrote scripts and starred in all of the performances. He is an idea machine. Sometimes I had a little trouble understanding all of his ideas, but he toned down a little bit, and they were simple and sensational. Here they are over the years. The Seligman Team World Champion Legacy in 2021, 2022, 2023, and now in 2025. And here they are, 2021 in virtual OM. They were world champions during COVID. You can see they're wearing masks. That was a particularly challenging time, and they did it. The next year, 2022, here they are, they're in 8th grade at this stage, and 2023, there were a young team, freshmen, in a new division, and they still managed to beat out all the seniors. So, and then 2025, the current team, world champions. Now, when we have this kind of a remarkable accomplishment, there usually is another common denominator called the coach. And Heidi, I'm sorry, I know she's doesn't like a lot of attention, but she's gonna get it tonight. She's a legend. In the OM world, when the Seligman team moves on stage, everyone notices. She's patient. You have to have a lot of patience to be an Odyssey of the Mind coach. She's kind. She has the uncanny ability to bring out the best in her team without telling them what to do. You can't tell an Odyssey of the Mind team what to do, because that's forbidden, outside assistance. She's truly dedicated to the OM program for Goshen. She helps and assists all the younger teams who are coming up. She answers all their questions. She helps the spontaneous. She is truly outstanding. When a team wins world 4 times, it's not an easy thing. They make it look easy, but it's not. It's time for some serious recognition. So Goshen has decided to honor our world champions, present and past, with a plaque for each school. Very nice. Director. The Seligman team is featured twice on the high school plaque and twice on the middle school plaque. Now, before the Seligman dynasty began, Goshen had 2 other World Finals winners. In 2014,
It was you, right?
2014, no, this is. Sorry, I know that's.
Plaques or the slideshow.
Multitasking, I'm so sorry. We had this, a very adorable GIS team, win. I don't think their coaches are here, Jeanette McDowell and Amy Bunzy. And so they're on the GIS plaque. And our very first World Finals winners was way back in 2009. And they're joining the Seligman team on the high school plaque.
That was you, Beth, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's back.
Yeah.
the good news is, Heidi, are you listening? There's more plaques. There's more blank spaces on those plaques. So, and for all of our Goshen teams, we have 9 teams competing, and I look forward to seeing more teams competing. So there's lots of blank spots to fill up. But even more importantly, Goshen Odyssey of the Mind is such a good program, whether you win or lose. The journey is absolutely incredible, and I know our Goshen coaches that we have here in the school board can attest to that. So I would just like to, one more slide, to say thank you to the school board, to the administration, especially Dr. Coates, and our community for your unwavering support of such a wonderful, worthwhile program. Thank you.
Mrs. Laskowski, before you go away, if you could come right back up to the podium. Just have a few words. So I think, before I take this, I think it just goes without saying, all the coaches that have crossed paths with you not have been so successful without your guidance or leadership, and just being a true advocate for this creative, academic, challenging, team-oriented, wonderful activity that you've spearheaded over the years here in Goshen. So, first of all, thank you to you. And we have a little plaque here for you and a little something else, presented in recognition and appreciation for your commitment to the Odyssey of the Mind program. Your contributions have made a significant impact on the students, the district, and the Goshen community. We extend our gratitude and wish you much happiness in the future. Thank you again, and congratulations, owners.
Very good. I'd like to invite Dr. Hendershot, Director of BPS, to the front. So, over the past few months, you've heard us speak pretty extensively about the district participation for the first time in the Special Olympics. And at one of our previous meetings, we sang really the great success that we had. And Dr. Hendershot asked for a few moments tonight to speak about the process, about how many people participated, and offer some gratitude and really showcase the hard work that happened. So Dr. Hendershot, with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. On May 17th, our district hosted the Special Olympics at Goshen High School. We had 180 athletes from 11 participating districts who participated in the event. As I had mentioned at a previous board meeting, this event was totally powered by volunteers and sponsorships, and it would not have been a success without each and every one of them. In your board packets, you were provided with a list of volunteers, students, and community members, sponsorships, and committee members who were part of this event. We had volunteers from Goshen as well as neighboring districts. All students who volunteered were sent a certificate of appreciation for the event. We had collected approximately a little over $6,000 for the event. All businesses that provided sponsorships, they were given recognition on our social media page, but also they too will receive a certificate acknowledging their generous donations. What I also wanted to mention too is we also appreciated the support from some of our board members. We had Ms. Johnson, who volunteered as a coach for Port Jervis. Mr. Sullivan helped with recruiting student volunteers on the day of the event. And Mr. Whedon had been volunteering in the SEPTSA sponsored comm room. All in all, there were countless smiles, and it truly was a proud day to be a gladiator. The one thing that I wish that I'd done differently, but I'll have the opportunity to do next year, is to get more pictures of our volunteers. We were able to get some, but not all. My colleague and right-hand person during the event, Teresa Espinoza, put together a presentation of the behind the scenes of the Special Olympics, and I would like to share that with you now. Mr. Rutherford?
Who's winning?
Everybody's winning.
Everybody's winning.
Thank all the volunteer, the businesses and individuals who sponsored the event, the students and the parents who attended the event, and made it a special day for all. We look forward to seeing everybody next year on Saturday, June 6th, 2026, where we will host the 10th annual Elementary Special Olympics again at Goshen High School. So thank you very much.
Can I support that with a comment real quick? Because I can't keep it to myself. I've been coaching Special Olympics at the community level for swim for the past 10 years. We go into our 10th year this year. And my team was just at states in Ithaca. I can't tell you people how amazing that umbrella is. I coached in Orlando for the state team at nationals years ago in 22. The energy, the camaraderie, the unified opportunities, the volunteers, all coaches are volunteers. If you have an opportunity to spend some time, I originally was supposed to be at a swim meet in Albany, so I didn't really work with Heather in advance to be able to commit to being a volunteer that day. And then my son got invited to the prom in Monroe Woodbury, and he went to that and we wound up home. So I came to the event as a volunteer. I don't think I got to connect with you that day, Heather, but I was very impressed seeing the smiles. I participated in the lobby as a greeter, and I helped in the gym with basketball skills, which transitions to my t-shirt. Unified basketball is the best thing we do in this district. Keep it going. My sons have participated since 8th grade, when it's really a high school sport. That's what we do here. We're open, we welcome, we're unified. There's not an opportunity for anyone to be sad on the court. It's the most infusing, inspiring opportunity to come see a game. If you missed it, the past 6 years, I think we're running now, thanks to Coach Harris, who started our team, and Coach Johnson, who keeps the torch flame. Go next year if you have not yet gone. We'll be back. We're excited. Eric graduates this year, which I can't even believe. Go, Eric. And I want to thank everyone for your continued support. I come at times when I'm available. I volunteer in a lot of ways in this community. I'm here tonight representing Orange County Think Differently, honoring SEPTSA with a wonderful grant opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from the team about their gratitude for both the grant and what they've been able to do in the district. So I'm wearing a few different hats tonight, but my Special Olympic hat is my most powerful. It's my passion. My son Eric competes. He was a fireball in the pool on Saturday. He took 2 golds and 2 silvers, and his relay team took a gold as well. So this is fueling his confidence and his courage and helping his path continue in a positive way, like what we're seeing with Odyssey of the Mind. When I first saw medals come in the room, I was like, oh, Special Olympics. And then I realized it was science. But all good, right? These are the great things that we're celebrating in our district. We're starting with young people and we're growing them into amazing humans as young adults. So I'm really proud of the work that we're doing as a whole. And sitting in the stadium, in the auditorium last week for the certificate evening, I brought Eric's to show. SEPTSA gave out. If you weren't there, and maybe you don't know about it, they honored the unified basketball players without saying it out loud. They honored special individuals who are doing special things in our district. Eric, of course, was an athlete on the team, but they gave recognition to individual students who are doing great things, and they're students first. And that's the people first language that we hope for as a mom of an individual with a special need. Eric doesn't see himself as a person with a special need. He sees himself as Eric. And that's how it should be his whole life. So thank you. I'm going to stop now. Of great things that we're doing. Keep going.
Yes. Thank you very much for all the commitment you give to the community, all the volunteer work you do. And thank you for those extra words. Moving forward now, we have our members of our SEPTSA board coming up to make a brief presentation. So,
Oh, great transition. See that?
She said everything I was gonna say.
We're done.
I hope you repeat your speech, Lara, because it was the greatest speech I ever heard.
No pressure there.
No.
Good evening. President Loftus, Superintendent Coates, members of the Board of Education, administration, faculty, families, and community members. I am honored to speak with you tonight on behalf of Goshen's SEPTSA, the Special Education Parent Teacher Student Association, for those that don't know. We're here tonight to express our sincere gratitude and share some very meaningful milestones. First and foremost, we would like to publicly thank Orange County's Think Differently for bestowing a generous grant fund upon Goshen SEPTSA. These funds are more than just financial support. They are a powerful message of inclusion, of possibility, and the belief in the work that we are doing for our students. This grant empowers us to expand our initiatives that foster understanding, acceptance, and equity in education. We are incredibly grateful for their partnership in this journey. I'm going to let Sarah speak on that.
Okay. Do you have slides that go? Yes, okay. Good evening, DOE and Goshen community. I did ask to step up to this podium, maybe one last time, who knows, to express my heartfelt gratitude as I prepare to step away from my role as a SEPTSA board member, last year as president, and this past year as treasurer. As many of you are aware, I accidentally became founder of the Goshen Central School District, a special education parent teacher student association. I think I'll spare you from the story because I've shared it many times. I have always and will always continue to believe in the altruistic power of dedicated people with passion and willingness to collaborate to achieve accomplishments bigger than any one person could ever do. Being the founder of Goshen SEPTSA and a board member for the past 2 years has been an incredibly rewarding experience. I am proud of what we have achieved collectively and honor the friendships that are formed along the way, and not only for me. Watching other parents and caregivers connect and grow friendships, create play dates, and share resources is its own special kind of magic, truly. So many people have come together to share resources, guidance, and ideas to keep SEPTSA engaged. One of these resources that was presented by a really gentle nudge by the Queen of Connection, Stacey Marcel, with Orange County Think Differently. She told me, look at the website, look into the grants, a nudge from a gentle powerhouse and new friends. So thank you, Stacey. This is my first time ever preparing a grant. I had many detail-oriented questions and many gracious humans willing to guide me along the way. And thank you for staying gracious with me because I'm shorter than mine. SEPTSA received a grant from Orange County Think Differently for $3,275.62. Thank you. I have lost count of how many common rooms SEPTSA has hosted over the past 2 years, easily 20, if not more. Creating a safe and welcoming environment where kids of all ages, parents and volunteers, teachers slip in for much needed and deserved reprieve. It has been invaluable. With the Orange County Think Differently funding, we were able to create 4 sensory common room cards equipped with low lighting, tactile sensory toys and activities, soft music, arts and crafts so kids can reset, return, or simply stay. To be in a shared space with building events that are often overstimulating for our sensory sensitive big and small humans. We have been talking as a board and with building administrators about creating a protocol for the common room, card storage, care. We are well aware that storage is an issue in all the buildings, so we're still ironing that one out. Ideas that have come to the table have been creating request sheets for sign out, return logs, along with an itemized list to check off so that all items are cared for and returned in clean and organized way in order to promote long-term available resources to create common rooms. Ideally, I feel it would be great to have the cards available within reach of our principals so that a pop-up common room can be created as needed for scheduled and unscheduled events. Life happens, and I hope to see these items provide support not only for the events that are on the evenings and the weekends, but during school hours if needed. And as I was thinking about this, I went into my own memories of thinking of being at pet rallies and how it was an instant anxiety attack for me. And I have no shame about that. It probably still would be. So things along those lines, I think about being able to, each building being able to create a pop-up common room. That's really all for me. I mostly am here tonight to express a genuine thank you. I know I'm still around for support, and I'm definitely cheering you all on as you keep SEPTSA growing. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. So what you're seeing right now on the screen, if you go back one, sorry, these are the items that we were able to purchase with the grant funding. All of these items have been bought in quantities of 4 for each building to have access to. So while we iron out those details of how we can make sure that all students have access to those throughout the day, we will keep the public posted. You can go to the next slide. Thank you. But I also want to take a moment to thank and congratulate our PPS department and the entire district on the resounding success of this year's Special Olympics. It was truly a day filled with joy, perseverance, and unity, a celebration of every student's strength and spirit. SEPTSA was deeply honored to provide a comm room that was welcoming to all, as it was a sensory space during the event, and it was a refuge, not just for the athletes, but also for students, volunteers, and parents. There were parents that came in and took a little siesta. It was very fun. This space represented the very heart of our mission. That when we come together, that when we work together, when we truly see and support each other, we create a better world for our children. Working with PPS, we were able to provide each classroom that every student from each district was in a sensory bag. In that, there were items. There were each of the kids to be able to use. And you can see the picture down at the bottom. Each of those classrooms had items in there for them. One of the largest things that was used was the noise canceling headphones. And it was a great success to see that even when students were getting overwhelmed or needed something, we were able to be there and to provide those needs at that moment. So it was really great thing to see. Our mission is to work together for the benefit of all students and children, not just some, not just those who fit easily into the system, but all students. Those who learn differently, communicate differently, move differently. We're building bridges between general education and special education. We are prioritizing collaboration over isolation, and we're leading with empathy rather than assumption. By doing this, we are creating schools where every child has the opportunity to grow, to contribute, and to be celebrated. To that end, we are also profoundly grateful to all of the administration in each of our buildings. Your support has been unwavering. You have consistently recognized that inclusion is not just a program, it's a promise. A promise that every student, regardless of their learning profile, will be seen, will be supported, and will be given a chance to succeed. All of you have demonstrated that the educational experience must include success for all learners, and that true leadership means lifting every voice. Your partnership with SEPTSA has made a tangible difference, and we thank you for that. And now, it is a great honor to share with you, although Stacy stole the thunder, something that fills us with an immense pride. It is something that was brought up at the very start of this organization. This year, we were able to give the inaugural Spirit of SEPTSA Award, which was given at Class Day. We had the privilege of presenting this award to 15 exceptional graduating seniors. These students, both self-advocates and allies, have led not with titles, but with heart. They have created change not through policies, but through everyday moments of courage, kindness, and connection. They have stood up, they have spoken out, and they have reached across differences to make sure that every student feels seen, valued, and included. They are the reason our schools are becoming not just more equitable, but more human. This award was more than recognition. It was a celebration of students who have carried SEPTSA's mission forward, who have lit a path for others to follow, and their legacy is a powerful reminder that inclusion is not just the work of a few advocates. It's the foundation of a thriving school community. Sorry, I don't want to get emotional. We are deeply proud of these students and for the lasting impact they will have made on our district. They represent the best of Goshen and the promise of even better things to come and a more inclusive future. So on behalf of SEPTSA, thank you to every student, staff member, administrator, and parent who believes in that mission. Together, we are not just supporting students, we are building a world where every child belongs. So thank you.
very much. I believe that concludes our presentations and recognitions for this evening. Now moving on to our next item. We need a motion for executive session. Brett and John. Be it resolved, the Board of Education will enter into executive session with the intent to reconvene the business portion of the meeting for discussions related to a student discipline matter. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll be right back. We need a motion to reconvene the meeting. We have John. Ashley. Favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you for your patience, everyone. All right, moving on to our president's report. Just a few items to report on tonight. This is our last meeting prior to graduation, so we really would just like to wish best of luck to all of our graduating seniors in whatever path forward you may choose, whether that's going to college, going to the workforce, going into the military, becoming a first responder. We really do wish you all the best of luck, and we can't wait to see you at graduation. All right, we've also posted a special meeting for this Wednesday. And this special meeting will conclude our search for an interim superintendent. We had received 20+ applications. We had set up 8 interviews over the course of 3 separate days, with a final follow-up interview. This all happened over about a week and a half. In this time and during our consideration, we decided it was in the best interest to go ahead and not just have a 6-month interim, but a full year interim. That way it will give the next person coming in enough time to get a little bit established, and also give us time to really work with the search firms, do our due diligence, look at those bids, and get into that the best we can. So this Wednesday, our intention is to go ahead and have a resolution passed to appoint our interim superintendent. And that person will actually be here, and as mentioned, they'd be available and willing to speak to any community member that would like to just get to know them. So anyone is welcome to attend, and please join us next Wednesday if you're interested in having a little FaceTime. And lastly, it is also Dr. Coates' last meeting, so we just wanted to say a quick thank you to Dr. Coates for all of your guidance and support that you've given us in this time as superintendent. And we just have a little something, a little token of appreciation for you as well. Thank you to shop team who helped make this one happen. Just a little plaque that says, "In grateful appreciation to your commitment to the Goshen students and the community." So thank you, Dr. Coates. Just a little something for you from us. We just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you. All right, and now moving on to our next item. Privilege of the floor. Person wishing to speak should first be recognized by the president, then identify themselves. Any group or organization wishing to address the board must identify a single spokesperson. Comments shall be brief and concise, generally not exceeding 4 minutes in length per speaker, which may be extended at the discretion of the board president. Each privilege of the floor session is not to exceed 32 minutes in length. Speakers may comment on matters related to district business. The board will not permit in public session discussions involving individual district personnel by name or by title, or students. Persons wishing to discuss matters involving individual district personnel or students should present their comments and/or concerns to the superintendent during regular business hours. All speakers are to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Obscene language, libelous statements, threats of violence, statements advocating racial, religious, or other forms of prejudice will not be tolerated. We have Alam Masker.
I'm Lana Masker. Good evening. You guys know who I am at this point. You ever wonder why we don't hear about workplace bullying, especially in places where we expect better? It's not because it's rare, it's because it's expensive, really expensive, not just emotionally, but financially too. Across the United States, workplace bullying costs over $360 billion a year. That's billion with a B. These costs come from staff quitting, legal fees, lower productivity, and it's all worse when leadership chooses silence over accountability. And here's something folks don't talk about. One bully can cost a workplace more than $100,000 a year. Not the person being pushed out, not the people speaking up, the bully. When organizations protect that person instead of doing the hard thing, it adds up quietly but painfully. Even in public institutions, places funded by taxpayers, this kind of silence comes at a cost. When good people leave or are forced out, the community loses. When it happens in schools, the cost isn't just dollars, it's impact, morale, it's culture. Lately, some in our own district have seen what happens when people try to speak up and support a strong leader. They're warned not to mention a name, a school,
Excuse me,
even a
Ms.
job
Tasker.
title.
I'm sorry, just if you don't mind, not to interrupt, but you had mentioned that you wanted to speak about policy this evening?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because this is about a bullying policy. So in my eyes, it's the same thing. But when someone criticizes a peer, it's not only allowed, it's broadcast, platformed, and applauded. That's not neutrality. That's a message that's loud and clear.
I'm sorry,
And
but
here's
if
the
you're-
truth.
If you're not gonna
I'm
speak
almost
about
done. I'm
policy-
almost done, Tom, so just let me finish and then I'll be on my way. And here's the truth. When districts choose politics over people, it's not just their budgets that bleed, it's their credibility. The cost isn't just legal settlements or resignations, it's the toll it takes on the students caught in the middle. The teachers distracted, the leaders undercut, the
I think it's
atmosphere
only fair-
poisoned, excuse
I
me?
think it's only fair if you wanted to speak about a policy we have, please do so.
Okay, so I'm speaking about your bullying policy. I'm giving you some information, and then when I get to the very end of this, you can answer it. The leaders undercut, the atmosphere poisoned, the students, the cost rippled straight into classrooms. And that's a price none of us should be willing to pay. We can do better. So tell me, what is your policy on bullying in the workplace?
All right.
But you don't answer questions anyway,
Thank
so
you.
what difference
Thank
does
you
it
for your
make?
comments. We're
You're
gonna
very
move on.
welcome.
We're gonna move on, thank you. All right, we're gonna keep that moving. All right, unfortunately, Francesca is not here tonight because we wanted to say a quick thank you to her as well. I believe on our agenda, we're appointing a new student rep. So Francesca, if you're listening, you're here. Thank you very much for all the work this year. We appreciated it.
I have some good news in that regard. I believe Francesca's a junior
Yes.
and will be back as our student rep.
She will?
Yes, next year.
No, I
So-
thought I read a different
No,
name.
that was the alternate.
Oh, that
So-
was the,
Oh, yeah.
oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
So Mr.
Good.
Penley actually did 3 different interviews and Francesca was
Great.
head and
Yeah.
shoulders the front runner, but we were fortunate enough to have someone that could be a good backup for next year as well.
that's fantastic. I saw the second name and thought there was the replacement.
No,
That's
yeah,
the
so
alternate.
I'm super excited because
That's
Francesca was
fantastic.
great at Oxbow and has a great
Right.
addition to our table here.
And just while we're speaking about her, I believe Dr. Coatsy had some good feedback, right?
So Mrs. Meyer, the head of the Orange County School Boards Association, when Francesca was invited to represent the district to speak about the experience of being an ex officio board member, actually intentionally reached out to tell us how impressed she was, how prepared she was, and really what she had to offer at the dinner. And that was something above and beyond that she didn't have to do. So I think it really spoke volumes to how well prepared she is, how articulate she is, and really the personality that she brings to the position as well.
Great.
Just asking, she didn't mention my dynamite introduction, did she?
Fortunately, no.
Well, thank you both for sharing that. We look forward to having Francesca back here with us next year. All right, great. Now, moving on. We have board member committee, legislative and OXPA updates. We just touched on OXPA a little bit. Any other updates from anyone on the team?
We haven't had a meeting since our last meeting, so no updates on that front.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, and then we have policies here. Did everybody have an opportunity to go ahead and read the policies?
Yes.
All right, fantastic, thank you. All right, then we'll move on to our next item, the superintendent's report, Dr. Curtis Coates.
Thank you, Mr. Loftus, and I'm going to pick up on one policy that I think is important as a standout that we discussed just for a few moments. I'm going to partner with Mr. Carter So as you're aware, in the budget process this year, New York State passed a new cell phone legislation for student use during the school day. And essentially it has been deemed as a cell phone bell-to-bell ban. Starting at the midpoint of this year, we put a stakeholder committee together that was comprised of students, staff, and family members and administrators. And we, over the course of several months, had numerous meetings talking about what iteration this might look like. How can we be prepared for what might be coming? It wasn't unfortunately until the budget passed that we actually saw the language of the law and the way it was going to read. And we had that in our hands for our last meeting that we had over the last 2 weeks before we looked at the policy as well. And this gave us the ability to not only review the language of the law so that we knew exactly what was included, but also to take the sample policy that we got from the School Boards Association that is on for a first read tonight, and to be able to make recommendations to the board. That was also inclusive of how to manage, what consequences may be included, how students can communicate with their families if they're not allowed to use cell phones during the day. All of this was included in the conversation. I'm going to ask Mr. Carter just for a few minutes to talk about his vantage point on some of the experiences with the families and the students that we were able to work with over the last few months, and some of what they were able to share, and maybe perhaps to share a little bit about the meeting that we had with the Middletown School District as well.
Sure, thank you. So in our last few meetings, we really did have an opportunity to focus on a lot of the stakeholder feedback, most importantly that of our student representatives. And so if you recall, from our very first meeting all the way through, including this most recent meeting, we did have students representing all age groups, and teachers representing all age groups, Scotchtown through high school.
Would you put your mic on, Mr. Carter? Thank you.
And so with that being said, we did have a couple of points of focus. We really wanted to talk to our students and our parent representatives about the format in which the phones would be either logged, protected, whatever it may be. So we did have an opportunity to listen to many opinions on that. The yonder pouches did not seem to be the most popular of choices. We did have one or two individuals, one or two students that felt as though they were the most secure option. Maybe that would give them the most peace of mind. But as a whole group, they quickly moved away from that. And so I think when you do take a look at your first read of that policy, once again, you'll see those recommendations made through consensus. And then also, we talked a little bit about the communication pieces. That was certainly a major point of emphasis, as it has to be. And our students were really concerned about how can my parent get in touch with me at any point in time during the day. Because right now we have the freedom to text back and forth. We have the freedom to, on an off period, get a hold of mom, dad, caregiver, whatever it may be. And so I think our biggest benefit is having those telephones with the ability to call out in each classroom. And that gave great peace of mind to our students especially. Parents, of course, know that they can call the office. They will not be able to dial into each individual classroom, each individual extension, and that's acceptable. They're fine with that. That really was the majority of the conversation. I think Dr. Coates and I agreed. I know Mr. Redeker was there as well. Just hearing the opinions and then the dialogue back and forth between our stakeholders was really impressive and very important for us, because that did provide the perspective that we were looking for. So everything that you have in front of you came from the notes that were taken that evening, especially the most recent, and implemented straight in the policy that's presented. And again, we will bring that stakeholder group back together, hopefully for this meeting in July, so that they can maybe reach on or touch on a couple of those points of emphasis that we can provide, so that you can hear firsthand what they anticipate their experience will be and what their perspective currently is.
So focusing on the most recent meeting, just to reiterate some of what Mr. Carter discussed, the issue of the underpouch was one of the first conversations, because parts of the conversation, because we really needed to focus on what is the whole concept of off and away versus having a cigarette in the bags. And a few people brought up the instance of the budget for next year. And this would be something that the district would have to bear the expense of, because it's unclear whether the state will back up any of this funding right now. And if we move to using the Alvin Township, it would certainly be an expense, which certainly many of the committee members were very concerned about, number one. Number two, we did come up with a tiered approach on how to address any violation of use of cell phones. But we focused on trying to really empower students to engage in an off and away policy. They'll be encouraged to use their lockers, they'll be encouraged to make sure that they partake in what is being asked of them. And keeping in mind too, this does not just mean cell phones, it means any internet enabled device, which is defined in the law itself, which includes tablets, which includes smartwatches. So there will be a learning curve, but we talked about repeated conversation and repeated reminders, both by classroom teachers, by the administrators at the building level. But we did really believe that we had a good foundation on where we could start with this policy. As Mr. Carter said, he's gonna be working with several of our families to get them to come and speak directly to the board at the board meeting in July, so that you can hear directly from them on their feedback. But that policy will need to be adopted at that meeting to meet the August 1st deadline to have a policy prepared. So before we move on, I'm happy to address any questions about things that we talked about, or Dr. Carter can address any questions. We just want to make sure we share it as much as possible before the board is asked to adopt that policy at the beginning of July.
So you said, we've talked about this a couple times before, but actually your comment just kind of brought up with internet connected. So I'm using my iPad, which works the same as the Chromebook, actually just works better for me. A student can bring their own devices in. A MacBook has the ability to have iMessage app. How in the weeds are we gonna get with this?
So, and that's a great question, because we discussed, Dr. Carter and I discussed this as well. As long as it does not have the ability to solely connect to the internet on its own and can still be restricted by our filter, so i.e. they have to go through our portion of the Wi-Fi, we're still going, our intent is still to allow them to have those devices. It's those devices that connect to the internet.
Okay.
Anything else?
Just a quick comment, thank you to all the students, teachers, and parents who participated. I think when they show up in July, it'll end up being their 5th or 6th meeting, so thank you so much for volunteering to be part of this, especially the students who've really been giving great feedback. I've heard that from Dr. Beals a couple of times about really good comments that they're all bringing up, so thank you everybody for dedicating your time to help us.
So Mr. Rediker, if you don't mind letting those in the waiting room in, we're gonna need just a little period of time to transition here. So as we
No, they're no longer in the waiting room.
okay, so we'll have to pull us through so I can get them back on again. But over the last few months, the district has engaged the services of AEA Consulting Services to complete a program analysis for our special education services. And as a conclusion of their work here in the district, they're going to be presenting to the district. They are going to be coming in remotely, but they will also be prepared to answer any questions once they're done. So if I can send them out to get them, that's great.
Sure, thank you. Bear with us folks for a quick minute while we get them back online.
Back on?
Okay. All right, thank you for your patience. We're going to jump back into the meeting. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a delay on that presentation, so we're going to move on to our next item. Dr. Goshen, anything else? Okay, fantastic. All right, so moving on to our next item. We have our Assistant Superintendent for Business Report, Ms. Lorraine Butler.
Mr. Loftus. So the school lunch equipment grant that I spoke about at the last board meeting has been submitted, and I hope to hear back in the next couple of weeks if we receive it or not. A large amount of our equipment, however, I've learned through the process is 20 years old or possibly more. So I would like to come up with an equipment replacement plan for the school lunch program over the summer, and working with Ron Isaac, the director of the program, just to get an idea of what we are looking at for future replacements, rather than having things go on the fly. Better be prepared. Our financial reports this month are for the month of May. We have expenditures in the general fund totaling $9.3 million, and we were a little bit higher for this month. That's because we had 3 pay periods in the month of May. Now, next year, you won't hear me speaking about this. Typically, we have 2 months in a year where we have 3 pay periods, but we're going to the 15th and the last business day of the month as our pay dates next year. So we will have regular cash flow. I think that'll be beneficial for that as well as other reasons. So our revenues that we received, $6.1 million in general aid. We also received our health and welfare payments totaling $124,000, and our interest earnings for the month of May were $126,000. That leaves us with a total of expenditures for the year through May 31st at $74.3 million, which is 81% of our total budget, and this is in line with last year. And we've earned $90.6 million in revenue, which is right on target as well for at the same time last year. Does anybody have any questions regarding? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to our next item. We have our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, Personnel, and Technology Report, Dr. Jason Carter.
Thank you once again, Mr. Loftus. I have nothing new to report. However, I would also like to congratulate our graduating seniors and wish them well as they move on. I'm very proud of our senior class. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now we need a motion to approve the consent agenda. We have Shannon and Billy. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education accepts the retirement of Thomas Martinez, School Bus Monitor, effective June 6, 2025. Mr. Martinez has been with the district for 19 years. Be it further resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the remainder of the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And congratulations, Mr. Martinez. Good luck. No one abstain? All right. Note that. Need a motion to approve the policy updates, second readings, renumbering, renaming, readoptions, and retirements. Juliet Chen. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the second readings, renumbering, renaming, and readoption of policies as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Need a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting and special meetings. We have Billy Shen. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the minutes of June 2nd, 2025 regular meeting, and the June 9th, 2025, June 11th, 2025, June 13th, 2025, and June 16th, 2025 special meetings. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Need a motion to accept the recommendations of the Committee of Special Education and Committee on Preschool Special Education. Billy and Shannon. Be resolved, the Board of Education hereby arranges for the special education programs and services based upon the recommendations made for preschool and school-age students with disabilities by the Committee on Preschool Special Education, CPSE, Committee on Special Education, CSE, during the period April 23rd, 2025 through and including June 13th, 2025. and directs the district to arrange for the provisions of said special education program services to such preschool and school-age students with disabilities as recommended during such time period by the CPSC and CSA. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve individual special education agreements. We have Shannon, Billy. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves entering into individual agreements with Orange County Therapy Group, Therapeutic Horizons, Green Chimneys Children's Services, Greenberg Graham, UFSD, Abilities First Inc., Megan Savah, Hudson Valley Speech, Hudson Valley Audiology Center, and Sunshine Home Care Services to provide services for special education students as presented. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to execute said agreements. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Need a motion to approve the lease agreement between the Goshen Central School District and OU BOCES. We have John and Shannon. Be resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the President to execute a lease agreement between OU BOCES and the Goshen Central School District for the office space at CJ Hooker Middle School to house the BOCES Interscholastic Athletic Coordinator in the amount of $10,074 for the 2025-2026 school year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Need a motion to approve the overnight trips. We have Billy and Shannon. Be resolved, on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the following overnight trips. The football team to attend camp at East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania from July 10th through the 12th of 2025. The cheerleading team to attend the Lake Bryan Mauer Camp in Honesdale, Pennsylvania from August 27th to the 29th, 2025. Be it further resolved, the board reserves the right to cancel or reschedule any school-sponsored trip or activity in the event of any emergency condition outside the control of the school district in its sole discretion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Aye.
Need a motion for the declaration of obsolete computer equipment, class of 2025 Chromebooks. We have John Scott. Be resolved by the Board of Education, the Goshen Central School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, that the equipment identified by the District's Director of Information Technology be declared obsolete, disposed of, in memorandum to the Board of Education dated June 10, 2025, and in accordance with Board Policy 5250, be and is hereby approved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to accept donations and authorize the increase to the budget. We have Shannon and Billy. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education accepts the following donations from the Scotchtown Avenue Elementary School PTO as presented. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education approves increasing the 2024-2025 budget to support the associated expenditures as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the proposals related to CJH controls upgrade. We have John and Brett. Be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the proposals related to the CJH controls upgrade presented by Land Associates Engineering and Train as presented. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent to execute said proposals. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the proposals related to the CJH flooring project. We have Ashley and Scott. Be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the proposals related to the CJH flooring project from Renew Contracting Restoration and Milburn Flooring as presented. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent to execute these proposals. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve budgetary transfers. We have Billy and Shannon. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the following budgetary transfers in an aggregate over $105,000 as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to appoint the ex officio student board member and an alternate student board member. John Scott. Be resolved, the Board of Education approves high school student Francesca Zaccaro to serve as the non-voting ex officio board member of the Goshen Central School District Board of Education, effective for the 2025-2026 school year. Be resolved, the Board of Education approves high school student Madison Hunter to serve as the alternate non-voting ex officio student board member of the Goshen Central School District Board of Education, effective for the 2025-2026 school year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the terms and conditions of certain department directors. We have John Shannon. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the terms and conditions for certain department directors of the Goshen Central School District effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the terms and conditions for the Director of Technology. We have John and Shannon. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the terms and conditions for the Director of Technology of the Goshen Central School District effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. All those in favor? Opposed? Need a motion to approve the addendum agreement to the Assistant Superintendent for Business contract. We have Billy and Shannon. Be it resolved, the Board of Education, the board. Pause for a second, slow down a little bit. A lot of resolutions tonight, folks, sorry about that. Be it resolved that the Board President is hereby authorized to execute an addendum agreement dated June 23rd, 2025, effective July 1st, 2025, through June 30th, 2026, to the contract for the Assistant Superintendent for Business. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve the addendum agreement to the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Personnel, and Technology contract. We have Ashley and Scott. Be it resolved that the Board President is hereby authorized to execute an addendum agreement dated June 23rd, 2025, effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, to the contract for the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Personnel, and Technology. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve the addendum agreement between the district and the acting middle school principal. We have Billy and John. Be it resolved, the board hereby authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to execute an addendum agreement dated June 23rd, 2025 with Roy Reese to serve on a contractual non-tenure bearing basis as the acting middle school principal to commence on July 1st, 2025 and continue until no later than August 31st, 2025 at a salary of $700 per day. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve the supplemental memorandum of agreements with the GTA. We have John and Ashley. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby ratifies two supplemental memorandum of agreements between the Goshen Central School District and the Goshen Teachers Association dated June 23rd, 2025. One regarding some technology support provided by a GTA member and one regarding career internship program support provided by a GTA member. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Right. We need a motion for decisions related to student discipline expungement request. We have Brett and Scott. Be resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the expungement of the following student discipline listed below, consistent with the Code of Conduct. Student 06232025-S1, date of discipline 3/24/2025. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the Superintendent of Schools to take the necessary steps to effectuate the expungement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? There was a lot to get through there, so bear with me for trying to read through that very quickly. But there was many resolutions this evening. All right, moving on. Do we have any board member items that anybody would like to bring up and discuss tonight?
Yes, I would. So it's number, what do we have, number 15 on our is another privilege of the floor. And aside from some of the obvious issues that we've been having lately, it seems that having two privilege of the floors, we're never using both. So it's a waste of what we're doing in here. But the other part really is that I think that we should move it to and just keep the second one. So that way we can streamline all the regular school business before this, be able to get through that for anyone hopefully that's looking to see what we're doing on at our board meeting with all the official business and be able to get that done and then wait to the end before the last executive and do our privilege of the floor then.
I would agree with that. I think maintaining this, if we're going to only maintain one, maintaining the second one makes sense, since it would give people the opportunity to speak about something in the current meeting. So I'd be in favor of that.
I support that. That's the direction we're moving in. I think it makes sense. It allows us to get to the business at hand. Makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I also have no objection, so. Okay, good, we'll go ahead and do that for our next meeting, we'll just keep the second one. Great, just one other little comment here, just as a reminder, although we're still undergoing a policy audit, which is going on forever, we have another meeting coming up soon. All of the policies, existing and new ones rolling over, are all available on the website, so any questions you have about that can all be found online, and if you couldn't find a specific policy, maybe there was a new number and you could search, you could always email and ask the question, and we could make sure that, you know, folks receive that info, but it's all available online, ready to go for anyone's review. All right, any other board member comments?
Just one comment, over the last couple of weeks, I had the opportunity to attend a couple SAS moving up ceremonies. And Shannon and I were at two GIS moving up ceremonies too, and I just want to, I have one I'm very excited for tomorrow, and it's going with my son. But I just want to compliment everybody involved. They really moved at a great pace. I mean, how at the elementary level, they got all of those bodies moving in chorus together and in and out, and I want to say record time, to be honest. And then the GIS one was great. It was very enjoyable and not very hot in there for once. So I was very appreciative of that. But I just wanted to compliment everybody involved on a job well done.
Great. All right, thank you. Anything else? All right, very good. Then we'll just move on to our last item over here. We need a motion for executive session. We have John Shannon. Be it resolved, the Board of Education will enter into executive session with the intent not to reconvene the business portion of the meeting for discussions related to the employment history, particular personnel persons. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great night.